Hello folks, welcome to another video. As always, I hope this one finds you well. You have joined me today on top of a jetway by the looks of it, at a very atmospheric location. Have a look at the colours here. Have a look at the visible moisture up there. That's impressive, isn't it? Yes, this is the PMDG 737-600, the only PMDG bird that I own, the only one I need. I prefer it over the 700, 800 and 900, not just because it's a fair bit cheaper. It does what I need it to do, folks. It scratches my 737 itch, you might say. This will be a fairly short video, I expect. I don't know there'll be a lot of interest in it. Then again, that applies to every video I've ever produced. What I'm going to look at today, and I know I'm a bit late to the party, is I'm going to look at the tablet, the PMDG tablet. And I suppose this is kind of a first impressions style video. It's certainly not a tutorial, not really a review, just an old bloke who's going to take it for a fly on a fairly short flight. The livery may give away where we begin our journey, but before I show you the flight plan, I just have to say there'll be a link to this custom freeware rendition of this location. It's quite impressive. But let's have a look at the flight plan, and I'll take you through what we're doing, where we're going, and where we begin. Little nav map is our friend. If you had guessed Brazil, congratulations. We are beginning our journey in the capital, Brasilia. As I said, a really good freeware rendition of this airport. There'll be a link to that in the description. We're going to fly departure, the Luz 1 Alpha departure off 29 left by the looks of it, and head down in a vaguely sort of southerly direction to a little place you may have heard of. I may have featured it on a few videos, Rio de Janeiro. But instead of Santos Dumont, which is my favourite place in which to commit virtual aviation in this part of the world, today we're going to go to Galeao, the main international airport here in Rio, and there's a custom freeware rendition of that will also be linked to in the description. Yeah, shortish video I think, folks. There'll be a little segment here where I explore the tablet. We'll do a departure, we'll do an arrival. I'm going to guess about 15 to 20 minutes we're all done. So let's do it. Right, welcome on board, folks. We're just getting ourselves configured here. I will point out that I am using a texture mod, provide that sort of weathering effect, replicate what it looks like on my face. My brain feels quite weathered as well. This is the subject of today's video, folks. The PMDG Universal Flight Tablet, released, I want to say a few weeks ago, after a very long wait, and released to a bit of a sense of it's probably the best way I can describe it. Wasn't received to wide acclaim, I don't think. I think part of the problem was old mate at PMDG talked about it for so long that, you know, the longer it went on, the more the community felt like this was going to be something special. And well, compared to some other offerings, it ain't all that, as you might say in the United States, folks. So what we've got, as I'm sure that most viewers of this channel will be familiar, having watched this content elsewhere, it's got an electronic flight bag. Now, if you do the SimBrief thing and you do the Navigraph thing, I reckon you get a lot more out of this tablet than what I do. So bear that in mind. My expectation here is pretty low because I don't use, I occasionally use SimBrief, but not very much, and I'm not going to use it today, and I don't use Navigraph at all. But all these things talk to each other, and there's plenty of other videos out there on the tube that'll help you get acquainted with this if you need to. But yeah, it's set up, that EFB stuff here is set up around Navigraph. Some general preferences, of course. I think I've got those pretty much right. Pretty much defaults, bar one, I think, which was the weight that I set up. Yeah, kilos, I changed it. Everything else is right. And yeah, just in case you're wondering, I'm using version 1.1.1, which we all get the same. Actually, no, we don't. We're not forced to update our PMDG birds, are we? So anyway, that's the version that you're running with. I'm running with. Going back home, so that's the EFB bit. And the performance tool is really the only thing that has relevance to me, the way I fly. And that's what we're looking at here. So if you were using SimBrief, you could import it from your OFP. I can't do that, so I kind of have to do it a bit old school. We're in Brasilia, which is Sierra Bravo Romeo, that one there. We're going to take off 29 left this morning. So it puts in the field elevation, the runway heading, the slope, the length, nice long strip here. We are dry at the moment. Takeoff flaps optimum, well I'm sort of going to go 5. Rating optimum. Takeoff 1, derate a little bit, anti-ice will be off, packs will be on. Yeah. So import from aircraft will give me the weight and the CG, I think. It does. So weight 57 tonnes, CG 24.39. Weather. Where does it get that from? He asks himself. So 270 at 8, 24 degrees. Quite warm here. It's been warm in Brazil lately. Is there a place on the planet that hasn't experienced warmth in the last year? I don't know. So I think we're pretty much right. So if I click calculate, it should populate all these numbers, right? Or not. What? Takeoff not allowed. Plan weight exceeds max allowable weight. Max allowable... What does it say? Max allowable weight of 55. I'm not... What's going on here? MTO's 65. I'm 57.4. Let's ignore this button. Ignore this message. No des path after Utbom. I don't care. I will be descending on a path after Utbom. Utbom's a waypoint near Galeao. I don't know what that means, folks. What's going on with the weights? What have I forgotten? What am I missing? Does it have to do with my rating? If I go takeoff, can I go takeoff? I can. Flaps 5 that. If I click calculate, what happens? Yeah, there we go. So my rating was too low for my weight. Am I interpreting that correctly? I don't know, folks. So this gives you some speeds and stuff. Selected temp 32, V1, 124, 124, 131. 1241, yeah, okay. So I was trying to go for that one, do rate. I'm going to go this one and climb. Get rid of that message, it's annoying. So, what was it, 30, let's say 32 was a selected temp. So takeoff, it doesn't send it across to the box, does it? I don't know. CG come from there, trim 5. So it calculates your V-speeds anyway. This is kind of what I'm wondering why. So they're different. 124, 124, 123, 124. They're not that different. I'm going to go with the ones in the box. Just because I can. But why would they be different? I don't know. And couldn't we... That's not the view I wanted. That's the view. Couldn't there just be a button to say, pew, send to the box? Get in the box? I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something. Anyway, that's my quick look at the tablet, folks. You can tell that I have very little experience with it. Whether there'll be any interest in this video, I don't know. I'm going to get us pushed back and on our way. We've got APU running, we've got some aircon happening. It is quite warm here. I've got real traffic back on. I don't know whether that'll make a difference to my performance of the sim, probably. It looks like we've definitely got some weather around Brasilia this morning. But yeah, I'll get us on our way. There'll be a takeoff segment. I don't know that I'll do a cruise segment, and then there'll be an approach segment. Let's do it. Right, nice short taxi for me today, folks, which means a nice short taxi segment for you. We're heading for 29 left here at Brasilia. There's a really great rendition of this airport. Link to it in the description. That's 29 left there, I think. Yeah, we'll sort of hang a right coming up. What does these signs say up here? Runway ahead, and I'm squinting, but I can't read that one yet. What does that say? Probably no go. No entry. No entry, is that what it says? No entry, that's perfect. And that's where we're going. Flying from the right seat, folks, as I do in the 7.3, just because I bloody well can. And it's my party, and I will cry if I want to. 2.9 left, we'll get some landing lights sort of happening here momentarily. Landing lights can come on, taxi light can come off. TARA is already happening. We've got flaps 5 set, we've got RTO on the auto brakes. We've got an arriving aircraft from the other direction. Of course we do. That's not going to bother us. This is going to happen regardless, folks. We're going to take off 2.9 left. Traffic is enunciating on the MFD. Thanks. Will it give me some sort of advisory? Probably not on the ground. Like, no, it does give you, that's an advisory, but like a what do you call it? Resolution or something. Like, hit the brakes, champ, or something like that. I don't know. These bloody default sim models are horrible, aren't they? First time using real world traffic, or real time traffic, in a long time, just to give a bit of life to the sim. What's he doing? We playing chicken? Keep going, champ. I'm going to hit the brakes here. I'll let you pass. That wingtip, that'll go over the top of the 7.3, won't it? Have faith, folks. Have faith. This is where I need to hit the reverses. Oh, it is a game of chicken. You're not going anywhere until I go somewhere. Right, mate. Sorry, folks. We will get out of here. Gun it. Rolling start. Probably need to, I've got ahead of myself there, rolling start. I actually need to sort some shit out first. Like a heading bug aligned. And I'm going to need to hit that magic click spot, right? There's a magic spot on the panel, 737. I haven't flown it for a bit. Which would be, where about there. Righto, takeoff power is set. We are togering. Airspeed is alive. Rotating at 123 or 124 thrust hold, that's good. Rotate about there, why not? Nice and gentle does it, fella. Positive rate and all that into the bars. Beautiful, got an early turn here, through 4-2, and then it's a tight lefty. Following Mr. Flight Director in a marker. There's 4-2, we're going to be hanging a lefty and looking for the intersection on the way out of Brasilia this morning. It's commanding a pretty high pitch rate, isn't it? Make that turn, yeah we will. We're going to have to keep pressure on the yoke, fella. Taking an external for the viewers. There we go. Back inside. Oh, we've done all right on the turn. We see some precipitation. Those flaps coming up. Accelerating now through 230 knots. We've got a constraint to be at Utjan below 10. Just retrim. It wants us pitching down a lot, doesn't it? Get rid of all those flaps. Oh yeah, heading into some weather here. 230 knots is our target. We're going to intercept that magenta momentarily. Alright, we're going to go to autopilot, let Georgie do some flying here. He's bugging up to 250. Allow me to go outside and take an external for you. Heading into the weather. Does the weather radar work in this thing? I can't remember. INOP doesn't work. I press that button just because it's there. Doesn't do much. What about if I do something up here? No, it's in op, mate. It's in op. So we'll get rid of the RTO thing. We'll get our heading boat sorted under our track. Looks like we've got an easterly breeze. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. What am I doing here? That's what I wanted. Heading towards Luz. Looking back across. Here's our constraint coming up. It's going to hold 250 knots and 10,000. We're going to be burning through an absolute shit ton of gas. It's quite atmospheric, isn't it? That's nice. Anyway, folks, we are away out of Brasilia, en route to Rio. I'll next see you for an approach. Alright, well into our descent now, folks, down through about flight level 220. We're north of Rio, heading for an RNAV arrival, probably an improvised arrival considering it's my channel, onto runway 15 at Galeao. Flight has progressed very nicely. There's been a little bit of high-level cloud, should I say a lot of high-level cloud, very warm. ISO, plus 15 or something like that, I saw at one point, but otherwise we're going quite well. We are descending at a casual 3750 feet per minute, doing 335 of the best knots you'll see in a flight simulation video today, folks. I thought I'd just kind of share a general overview of the tablet for what it's worth, which may not be much. I'm not overwhelmed by it, but then again, I'm not underwhelmed by it. I'm just whelmed. I'm just whelmed by it. I probably won't use it again, to be perfectly honest. Not that it's bad, it just doesn't add anything to the way I personally sim. So I don't use SimBrief and I don't use Navigraph. I think if you're one of those serious simmers, and you want to replicate real world ops, and you have a very kind of professional view of what this simulation caper is, you'll get more value out of it. But for the casual simmer, and I consider myself one of them, the box does everything for me. Quite frankly, like the tablet in its current form doesn't give me anything additional. I don't think anyway. So yeah, my overall impression is that I'm just whelmed by the tablet. Down through flight level 140, we're inching ever closer. Actually doing a pretty decent ground speed here. We've got a nice tailwind. I hope that does switch around for our arrival. Fingers, toes and every other appendage crossed, folks. I'll see you for the final stages. Alright, concluding stages, folks. I was hoping for a nice easy visual approach. Anything but that. We'll give Georgie a rest at this point. Also take my throttles, thank you. Alright, we'll fly the clocks as best we can. Really hoping for an easy visual down to runway 15, but that's okay. Such is life. Hopefully we'll get visual with the runway before we hit it. You never know on this channel, folks, do you? Take speed check in flaps 15. Flaps 30 for our landing. 130 is our VREF. A little bit slow. 9 miles to run, getting a little off whack here in terms of our lateral tracking and vertical as well. A little bit more juice is required, getting a little bit high apparently. Just trying to follow the diamonds. Slightly right, and we're pretty much right on the glide by the looks of it. Getting a little bit high now, 160 knots. Quite disconcerting when you're expecting a visual approach and and you haven't flown an instrument approach for quite some time, and you haven't flown one well for about 25 years, yeah, it does get kind of interesting. Anyway, we're going to get visual here before too much longer. Diamonds are telling me I'm quite high. We might take all the rest of the flap, eh? Going to overspeed it. We've got runway lights. There we go. We'll get oversped that a little bit. That was sloppy. We've got runway lights appearing, I think. I'm going to squint hard. If we all squint collectively, they will come into sight. There we go. I'm pretty sure that's runway 15. 130 is our VREF. We're just above that at the moment. Going to need some more juicy to get us to the threshold, I think, Georgie. Nice plane to fly. I really do enjoy it. I don't fly it particularly well, and I certainly don't fly it to the standard that many other serious simmers do, but I enjoy it. It's a good aircraft. A little bit quick now. We're high, very high. All the whites. This visibility is not improving that much, is it? 3 whites now. Speed coming back. We're flaps 30, gear down, all the green lights where they should be. No wind display, I'm guessing nil wind. 2 whites, 2 reds. A little bit of juice just to get us over the water.
500.
Thank you. Here we go, folks. Runway 15. Galeao. We'll take that one. Really thought the visit improved. Never did. Anyway, folks, welcome to Rio. Thank you for your company in another flight. This has been a look at the PMDG flight tablet for what it's worth. Appreciate your support as always, folks. Until we next meet, stay well, enjoy your simming, and bye for now.